Did you know back in the day, tomatoes weren't only used as food, but they were used as a powerful hallucinogenic? You're gonna learn all that and more when we talk about tomatoes. First off, the scientific name for tomatoes is wolf peach, and they were actually domesticated around 500 BC by the Aztecs. And they weren't just used as food, but also as a powerful and dangerous hallucinogenic. When tomatoes were first introduced to Europe, they were small, golden, and they were cherry-sized. They actually got the nickname golden apples. A lot of people think tomatoes originated in Peru because their Aztec name meant plump thing with a navel. That sounds like your stripper name. You know what's so interesting about tomatoes? How they breed. Tomatoes are self-pollinating, which means you don't have to plant two side by side while one fertilizes the other and vice versa. They can be planted by themselves and they just go, and then I'm pregnant. That is, they're self-contained. They can do everything by themselves. Because tomatoes have seeds that grow from a flowering plant, botanically, it's classed as a fruit, not as a vegetable. The government stepped in and classified it as a vegetable in the late 1800s so it could be taxed under custom regulations. Tomato plants come from the nightshade family. Potato, tobacco, and chili come from that family. One of the main reasons I love tomatoes is they are the richest source of lycopene available to us naturally. I'm gonna tell you some facts about lycopene of why you need to add this into your diet. Now, when you think of lycopene, think of red pigment. So anything that has a red pigment is part of lycopene. Grapefruit, papaya are part of the lycopene family. Even though it's pink, it's part of the lycopene family. So lycopene in tomatoes, they have powerful medicinal properties. Not only do they lower the risk of cancer and they prevent cardiovascular disease, lycopene helps purify the cigarette smoke carcinogens. So when you're smoking, blah, 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 and you feel like crap, actually lycopene helps purify your blood and get all that out. It's so full of minerals and vitamins. I mean, Lord, it lowers hypertension, regulates blood levels. Dude, it dissolves gallstones, and it helps with the severity of blood clots. So now it's a blood flow thing. Did you know that lycopene actually helps the health of the prostate gland in men? And guess what, women? It helps prevent breast cancer in women. And guess what? All you vain people out there, lycopene is good for a youthful appearance. Y'all remember Jack LaLanne back in the day? Showing my age now. Jack LaLanne was like a fitness guy, and his big spiel was that he ate a tablespoon of tomato paste every day. Dude lived to 96. He broke records like doing over 1,000 push-ups in 23 minutes. When I saw him doing tomato paste, I jumped on that bandwagon. Did you know that cooked tomatoes are better than raw tomatoes? If you want to keep a tomato longer, you store them with their stem down. When you pick tomatoes and you store them, don't store them where sunlight can get to them because they rapidly lose their vitamin C if you do. Refrigeration, it decreases their flavor and quality, but it does extend their shelf life a little more if they're ripe. When I was in culinary school at AI in Santa Monica, California, my favorite thing in the whole world was this amuse-bouche. When I worked at the restaurant, right before you leave culinary school, your last class is a restaurant. An amuse-bouche, it means like a complimentary appetizer offered at some restaurants. This is a very simple recipe. You can eat on your own, or you can actually have a little party and do them, and I guarantee you, within 10 minutes of that party, all of these are gonna be gone. I'm into texture contrast, and this is my favorite texture contrast dish. So what I have, they're very simple and not a lot of ingredients, which is great. Here I have crostinis, and I made these. You cut a baguette on a bias, and then you bake these so they're nice and hard. I also have sun-dried tomatoes. The reason I'm using sun-dried tomatoes is because a tomato has lycopene. But when you take sun-dried tomatoes, you're taking tomatoes and you're compacting all of that flavor and all of those nutrients. You're packing it into a little bit, not the big bit that you get in a tomato. So sun-dried tomatoes are baked tomatoes and olive oil. You can do basil, other herbs like that. I have chives. Now the difference between chives and green onions, chives are very thin, and the green onion is a thicker green. And here I have goat cheese. Now I'm just using plain goat cheese. There's a plethora of different flavors and concoctions that go with goat cheese. All you do is you take your goat cheese, and I'm just gonna take some chives and mix. Of course, how you present your food is everything. So we can try to do maybe one or two ways of doing the same thing, just to show you. And you wanna put it on, but you don't wanna put too much. So this one I'll do this way. Do my sun-dried tomato. I like stirring it and getting those juices in there. All right, so this is our amuse-bouche. And a lot of times when you go to a restaurant and they give you an amuse-bouche, they're gonna give you it in something like this. It's gonna be very small, one tasting, but what they usually give you is like smash, awesome. That's their kind of bragging, saying, this is just a taste of what I'm gonna give you, so you want to spend all your money with us. And this dish is great because it is a power-packed lycopene appetizer that I absolutely love. Your sun-dried tomatoes, it is where it is at. Let me tell you, you cannot go wrong with this dish. I hope you try it at home. I'm Elizabeth Grove, and this is EdibleFX. Did y'all like tomatoes? Tomatoes are the boss lady and the boss man. You have anything to add? Put it down below. Please subscribe because I'm gonna miss you if you don't.